congestion. It's headed up to Harper's Ferry for a 6:05 arrival, then Duffield's at 6:18 and Martinsburg at 6:39 this evening. Train 879 is the next train to leave the area, departing Union Station at 5:40. Metro Rail is on schedule and commuter buses are looking good so far, no delays. For the MTA Transit Team, I'm Ken Berger with your commuter rail update on Talk Radio WRNR.
When you do the same thing for 135 years, you learn to do it well. For 135 years, we've been helping families through the hardest times of their lives. That's because we're a family as well. When your family loses a loved one, we're here to help. We're Brown Funeral Home in Martinsburg, Inwood, and Charlestown, Ranson. We're here when you need us.
We have the tools, we have the talent. It's Miller time.
It's Miller time on Talk Radio WRNR. A look at local sports with the play-by-play voice of local sports, Matt Miller.
And good evening, everyone. Welcome in to Miller Time, along with Matt Crawford. I'm Matt Miller. It's a Tuesday evening, so we're on the air for an hour and a half. Do you realize we only have 2 more Tuesdays like this? Today and next Tuesday, and then the Major League Baseball regular season will wrap up, so we will not be breaking away at 6:30 for Washington Nationals baseball. However, it will only be right around the corner in October when we begin breaking away at 6:45 for Washington Wizards basketball and or Washington Capitals hockey.
You mean Washington Capitals hockey and or Washington Wizards basketball?
Oh, you win one Stanley Cup and suddenly you become the team that we have to carry, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But the Wizards should be improved this year, too.
Hypothetically. It's hard to put stock in the Wizards.
They're like the Redskins.
No, I think they're a little better than the Redskins.
Wow. Seriously?
Yeah, no. I don't know. It's hard to compare.
Both teams have athletes. Both teams have expectations.
Both teams don't have, I guess the Redskins do this year with Adrian Peterson and Alex Smith. But I guess the difference is the Wizards are self-proclaimed superstars. As opposed to the Redskins, which are proven superstars.
Come on now. John Wall's a proven star in the NBA. Bradley Beal's a proven star in the NBA as well. And now you got Dwight Howard, and he's proved himself through the years.
Dwight Howard's not a superstar anymore. I refuse to believe that. He's not a superstar anymore. He was, but he's not anymore. And do you think that, because I've always wondered this, and we need to find somebody who lives outside of the D.C. metro area to ask this question. Do you think that outside of the D.C. area, people see Bradley Beal as a superstar?
Yeah, I think so. Certainly, he's on the edge. Maybe I'll put it that way. Maybe not a superstar, but certainly a star in the league.
I'd buy that.
He's got a very strong three-point shooting percentage, puts up good points per game. He's a go-to type of guy for the Wizards late in any given game where they can get him the ball and trust him to be able to make a play. Obviously, when John Wall went down last year with the 2 lengthy injuries, the second obviously far more lengthy than the first one, who was the guy that carried the team? Okay, it's Bradley Beal, and then the other guys having to step up around him. So,
or lack thereof.
I think Beal certainly qualifies as an NBA star. Whether you put him into superstar category or not, all right, we can debate that.
The reason that I think I went with the Wizards are more of a contender than the Redskins are is that you hear every year, and maybe this still may be in the D.C. area only too, but the Wizards last year were supposed to be one of the top contenders in the East. And that was pretty well documented. They were supposed to be one of the better contenders in the East. You don't ever hear the Redskins being a contender, one of the best teams in the NFC. Or,
right now,
not a lot.
Division.
Yeah, exactly. So that's the only reason I made that comment.
Mm-hmm.
Was because the Wizards at least have that, I don't even want to say hype around them, but I have the expectations around them that they could be one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference, and you just don't hear that year in and year out with the Redskins.
I got a point in my column. Tommy says Beal is a star. Wall and Howard are superstars.
See, do you consider somebody a superstar because who's still playing just because at one point they were? See, to me, yeah, Dwight Howard was the next generation of big men in the NBA. After Shaquille O'Neal decided to retire, Dwight Howard came on. And Dwight Howard and Shaq overlapped a little bit, but Dwight Howard was really the next generation of what the NBA big man was going to be. But he hasn't done anything recently. So does that still consider him a superstar, or does that just mean he at one point was he's still a big name in the league, but is he really a superstar anymore?
You said he hasn't done anything lately, and yet we talked about it on this program when the Wizards made that signing to bring Dwight Howard aboard, and we talked about the fact that he's a guy that averages a double-double in points and rebounds per game throughout his career. So
exactly, but that's over the course of an NBA career where he's just fallen off in the last couple years. You put a lot of years of double-doubles together and then mix in a few where he's either just averaging a double-double or a little less. I don't know.
Yeah, but he still had some solid numbers last year with Charlotte before they made the move to trade him, and then they dumped him, and then the Wizards picked him up. So, I mean, obviously his biggest issue has not been, even in later years, I mean, clearly as you get older, you're not the same player. So, you know, no, he may not be putting up superstar-type numbers like he did when he was, you know, a rookie and his first few years and coming into his prime in the league, but he still has been very productive.
He has. All I'm saying is that I don't think he's necessarily right now at the superstardom level that he was. Is he going to be a good contribution? Absolutely. Do I think he can help the Wizards? 120%. But I don't know. It'll be interesting. It's the superstar comment that right now I'm a little concerned about.
We've got a caller on the line, and I know exactly who it is because he sent me the text earlier and actually tried to call my cell and then realized, wait, he can't get in on the air on my cell phone.
I assume it's our NBA buddy, Tommy.
It is.
Let's go to the WVU Medicine Berkeley Medical Center talk line. Tommy, how's it going?
I'm doing good, Matt Crawford.
All right, I assume you're disagreeing with me, which is why you're calling in.
Yeah, Dwight Howard is a 20-20 ball player. Last year it was 2 games before the Wizards. He had 20 points and 30 boards and 5 blocks.
I'm not saying he's a bad player. All I'm saying is that right now, when you think of big men in the NBA, you're going to think of Dwight Howard just because of the name Dwight Howard. But who is the big man now that you think about when you think of the NBA?
Nobody.
There really isn't none.
Anthony. I'm thinking Anthony Davis.
Well, yeah, there's Anthony Davis.
Oh,
Dwight Howard is in that realm. Dwight Howard is going to help this Wizards team this season.
And I agree with that completely because they haven't had a big man since really JaVale McGee. Because Gortat's never been a center.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. McGee never did anything in D.C. like he's been able to do out of Golden State.
But at least he was a legitimate big man. He may not have had the talent at that point in his career, even now, but at least he had the build to be a big man. Marcin Gortat never had that build. He was never a center in the NBA.
No,
so,
he was a forward.
I agree. Dwight Howard is going to be the center that the Wizards have needed for a long time. All I'm saying is that I'm not sure I would put him in the superstar category right now.
No, look at how many All-Stars he's made.
But that's in the past. That's not right now.
Okay, then let me throw it out there. Tommy, I'll ask you first and then let Matt chime in. If he comes out and has a good first half of the season and gets elected to an All-Star game as a Wizard this year, does that elevate him back up in your mind's eye?
Yeah. I really look for him to play well. I look for him and Wall to have that connection. It may take a month. They start in October. It may take till mid-November. But watch that connection. You're going to see a lot more out of you than you normally see from a Wizards team. You're going to see more. The only thing about it is can he still get up and down the floor? Because I still say the Wizards are better when they're out and running.
Well, and I figure that's the reason they brought him in, because he, as a big man, tends to be a little leaner and a little more mobile than a lot of other big men. So I'm hoping that the idea is he will be able to get up and down the floor with this group.
And going back to your original question, if he makes an all-star game this year or is one of the more dominant big men in the Eastern Conference or the NBA, yes. Okay, you just say, okay, he went through a little valley in his career and then he got on the right team. But I think that's something he's going to have to come out and prove. I don't think it's a given right now that saying Dwight Howard's going to step in and be that consistent 20-15 or 20-20 guy, just because while he's shown spurts of it over the last couple years, it's not that consistency that he had with Orlando going back a few years.
I have read he is working with a trainer and has the goal in mind that he wants to be considered, again, one of those elite men and big men, I should say, in the NBA, including being able to be considered a caliber like an Anthony Davis that you mentioned just a few minutes ago. So it seems at least he's putting forth the effort.
Not to cut you off, supposedly this trainer is working with his outside jumper, like an Anthony Davis, is what Dwight wants to do.
You need that in the NBA now.
Mm-hmm.
And he's going to need to get up and down the floor because that's how people win in the NBA now. It's not the old-fashioned way of playing basketball where you even go back. I mean, obviously the NBA has always been three happy, or in recent years, in the modern NBA era has been three happy, but it's not even just that anymore. It's okay. You're pretty much running the equivalent of a 3 or 4 guard offense around the key. And while you have a big man, he's really down there for defensive purposes. So
Bradley Beal was a superstar before Wall got hurt. When he went out with that knee injury and had that knee, that's when Bill started to slip down because everything was put on Bill's shoulders.
See, to me, then you can't consider him a superstar. A superstar can carry a team on his back.
Not when he's got to go out and guard the best player that there is on defense, too. Why do you think Steph Curry and some of these other guys do so well? Because they hide them on defense. Hey, well, go guard him. Go put him over there. Then you come back and then you can do what you want. They didn't do that with with Bill. Hey, you guard the best they got. Then you got to he wore down late in the year, too.
He did.
Yeah.
Because he was out on the floor way too much, and it showed in the playoffs.
And yet at the same time, I think this was arguably one of his better seasons as far as being able to stay on the floor because he has battled with injuries throughout his career. Beal was relatively healthy last year, but as you said, maybe wore down a bit in the end. That's where the bench has to come in, and that's the big question mark going into the season for this Wizards team. Can they be deeper and therefore maybe be better down the stretch and make a run in the playoffs? We'll find out. Tommy, thanks for calling.
Yep.
There you go. Tommy joining us. If you would like to be a part of the conversation, the number's 304-263-6540, 304-263-6540. Stay tuned for more Miller Time.
We're here at the Trane Heating and Air Conditioning Testing Facility to see how unstoppable their products really are.
Inside this climate chamber, it's raining incredibly hard on this Trane AC unit. Clearly, it's hard to stop a train.
McRae has served our area for over 80 years. Special financing and rebates up to $1,000 are available now. Go to McRaeWay.com to learn more. McRae and Trane. It's hard to stop a train. Really hard.
Trane, the most reliable heating and cooling brand.
Possibilities are all around us. We see potential in unexpected places. And when we share our knowledge, vision, and connections, we turn great ideas into action in communities all around the world. Together, we can make real change happen. We're Rotary. We are people of action. Get involved at Rotary.org.
I'm Cole Wright with NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network. The Bears get their first win of the season on Monday Night Football, and head coach Matt Nagy gets his first as an NFL head coach. The Bears defense tallying 6 sacks, 3 forced fumbles, and a pick 6. The final score from Chicago, 24-17. The Bears, they head to the desert to take on the Cardinals. In Seattle, they head home to host the Cowboys. Meanwhile, Josh Gordon has a new home in New England. The former Browns wideout traded to the Patriots for a 2019 fifth-round conditional pick. This to make room for Gordon on the roster in New England, cutting former first-round pick from Cleveland, Corey Coleman. And Carson Wentz is back under center for the Eagles. Head coach Doug Peterson making the announcement Monday, saying Wentz has been medically cleared and will start Week 3 versus the Colts. It will be the first time Wentz is under center since tearing his ACL and LCL last December. This has been NFL Network Now on the Westwood One Radio Network.
You wouldn't put a square peg in a round hole, so why would you deploy a traditional firewall in a modern decentralized network? Firewalls have new requirements for businesses leveraging SaaS-based applications and public cloud platforms like AWS, Azure, and Google Cloud. We're in the cloud generation now, so your firewalls have to be engineered to fit right in. Reclaim your cloud network. Try a Barracuda Cloud Generation Network or application firewall free at barracuda.com/firewalls.
I used to post to job boards only to be overwhelmed with resumes.
Which made it easy to miss a great candidate.
That old process was not smart. Then I went to ZipRecruiter.
Its technology finds the right people
and actively invites them to apply.
So I get qualified candidates fast. Smart.
See why ZipRecruiter is rated #1 by employers in the U.S. Try it now for free at ZipRecruiter.com/find. That's ZipRecruiter.com/find. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Based on Trustpilot rating of hiring sites with over 1,000 reviews.
WVU Medicine is pleased to announce the addition of orthopedic surgeon Dr. Craig Clark to the Jefferson Medical Center staff and WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Dr. Clark joins Dr. Bradford Wright and the team at WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, offering leading-edge, full-service orthopedic care. Both board-certified orthopedic surgeons specialize in total joint replacements and general orthopedics, as well as sports medicine. For more info, call WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine at 304-725-2663.
W. Harley Miller Systems provides custom integration services such as home or office automation, audio-video distribution, home theater, networking, and much more. With a Control4 system, you can consolidate into a single and simple solution, eliminating the need for a table full of remotes or dozens of apps on your cell phone. Want to check on the house from work? Want to listen to your favorite music while cooking dinner? Want to enjoy your favorite movie in your own home theater? Contact W. Harley Miller to make your dreams come true. Phone 304-350-1931 or visit WHMSystems.com. We welcome you back into Miller Time on this Tuesday evening along with Matt Crawford. I'm Matt Miller. About 7 minutes to go before we've got to get in our bottom of the hour break. Thought we might jump into a little Shepherd Rams football to hear from Tyson Bagent, the quarterback who yesterday was named as the Mountain East Conference Player of the Week. And with the announcement, Chip Ransom does a great job with the sports information office there at Shepherd University. Sending out that email points out that Tyson is like #1 in the nation as a quarterback in passing yards per game, completions per game, points per game, total yards responsible for per game. He's gotten off to a pretty nice start.
I assume that's just Division II, correct?
That's Division II, yeah.
I mean, not that that makes it any less impressive or anything, but
yeah,
that is a fun stat to have as a true freshman, 2 games in.
Still talking quarterbacks out of 120, 30, 35, whatever it is, 40,
Division
45, II schools.
Do I hear 60?
60. 160. No, I don't think it's 160, but it is a lot that play Division II college football. Nonetheless, he has certainly played well, and we got a chance to catch up with him after Saturday's victory, his first collegiate victory as a starting quarterback.
Feels amazing. No other better feeling.
Talk to us about what you were seeing out there with your game plan coming in and being able to really execute the way you guys did today.
Yeah, I mean, we had a game plan coming in, and, you know, coach is giving me options, you know, no matter the coverage. And, you know, I thought we did a good job executing, good job running the ball, and a good job of running routes.
How much did that ground game really help you out today? Maybe didn't run as well in week one. Today got it going.
I mean, yeah. I mean, anytime you run the ball, it's amazing. I mean, it definitely takes a lot of the pressure off of me, and I think it's, you know, a confidence booster for the team.
Well, the line played very well. You had a couple that you had to get out of the pocket, had to escape. Take us to what's going through your mind in those plays.
Yeah, I mean, the coverage, you know, the routes don't go as we plan, or the coverage isn't what we thought, and things start to break down, you know, just trying to find space and make a play.
In the third quarter, you connect with a former Bulldog who actually helped to coach a little bit last year in Dylan Brewer. What was that play about?
Yeah, it was awesome. That was definitely my favorite play. That's my guy. You know, he did a good job getting open, and, yeah, he played well today.
What was it like playing here at Ram Stadium?
You know, it was weird because, you know, I've been coming to these games ever since I was little, so being on the field was definitely different, but, you know, I enjoyed it.
That's got to be a bit of a surreal feeling for a young man who has grown up around a program, going to games at Ram Stadium, and then being there in front of 4,000 plus, just under 5,000 fans. And being
was there
on
that many
field.
there Saturday?
Yeah, I think the attendance was over 40-something, and I can't remember exactly what it was. I will look it up on my phone as we continue.
Because I know it wasn't a packed house.
No, it was not, especially the visitors' side. Glenville State, they had some fans there, but, you know, didn't travel.
They had a lot of fans from the Panhandle there, from this area there.
I was going to say there are a lot of folks in the area that either are from here and went to Glenville State or went to Glenville State and now have settled here in the Panhandle, so they had a little bit of a fan base right here locally.
Well, Tyson Bajan at the beginning of the second half had a very nice throw, very nice catch by another Bulldog who was a wide receiver.
Yeah, Dylan Brewer played at Martinsburg, went to Shepherd, took a year off last year, and actually helped a little bit around the Martinsburg program and worked with Tyson Bajan, and the two got a chance to connect. We caught up with Dylan Brewer about his game and that pass.
I'm just glad to be back. Oh, my gosh, it's such a great feeling just to be back playing football. I love playing with this team. We're playing as a team again. We're ready to keep going.
And you're catching balls from a quarterback that you actually helped to coach a little bit last year. A year off, you were at Martinsburg helping out. What's that like?
It's pretty amazing. We kind of talked about it all last year, like, hey, like, I'm excited for you to come to Shepherd and we're going to play together. We always had that plan, and, you know, it's awesome to be able to connect it all today and put all the pieces together and connect in the end zone.
All right, tell us about that third quarter play where he hits you for the score.
Defense kept coming up on that screen right there, and our offensive coordinator, Coach Hyde, made a good call, and we hooked up for it, and we were ready to go, so we knew we were going to score on that.
How much fun was this today when the offense is executing the way that you were able to?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. Scoring touchdowns is great. You know, being a receiver, you know, it's even better to watch our running game really come together today, and we were just hitting it downhill, just getting ready to the end zone and seeing those blocks and everything. Offense did an overall great job today as a team.
How's it feel to get this first win of the season, especially after having that bye week and kind of having to sit on week one?
Well, this win kind of gets the ball rolling. I think we don't have a bye week the rest of the season. We're just going to keep playing each week, and I think it's a good thing for us. We're going to keep coming out on top every week.
Develop a rhythm starting today.
Yeah, keep the ball rolling.
So there you hear from Dylan Brewer. Let's hope that the Rams do get the ball rolling now with a big win this past weekend. They take on a West Virginia State team this coming Saturday that is much improved. It's a program that has been going through that maturing, growing process, and last year gave the Rams, you know, all that they could handle, another one of those high-scoring affairs. This is a big one. West Virginia State would love nothing more than to snap what is a 37-game losing streak against Shepherd.
Going to say it's only been since 1980.
Yeah.
That's it.
None of these players have any idea about how long this streak is because they weren't alive at that time.
They weren't thought about
right
at that point in time. You're saying yesterday that I wasn't even thought about at that point, and all these kids now are younger than I am.
You're a Redskins fan, so you can appreciate this because I know you'll know the name, even though, you know, it may not be your era, so to speak, but 1980 NFL Draft. The Washington Redskins select Art Monk, wide receiver. That's how long ago that's been. Art Monk was drafted and was playing in his rookie season.
Do you know out of where?
Off the top of my head, I don't recall.
Syracuse.
I should have known that.
He was an Orangeman.
I am.
But yeah, it's been a long time. He's now been in the Hall of Fame for 11 years. So.
What was the big technology of that year?
1980.
1980.
Cassette tapes.
Cassette tapes were pretty good, but I think it was the fax machine was just beginning to come out, and CNN launched 24-hour news coverage. Yeah, it's been a while ago. All right, speaking of being a while, we'll be back in just a short while. We've got to get in our bottom of the hour break and then return with more Miller Time.
A special place we love.
CBS News update. It's not clear who will be at a Monday hearing on Dr. Christine Blasey Ford's claim that Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh sexually assaulted her in high school. There are doubts about whether she'll appear, and another man who might be a witness says he doesn't want to testify. President Trump praised his nominee today.
He's an incredible individual, great intellect, great judge, impeccable history in every way.
Senate Leader Mitch McConnell.
Ranking member of the Judiciary Committee had notice of this for quite some time.
Good morning, welcome to the
and decided to spring it right at the end. And it's pretty obvious this is all about delaying the process.
Washington State Democrat Patty Murray.
I am hoping that Republicans treat Dr. Ford fairly. Work with us to investigate this accusation fully and don't try to jam this nominee through.
CBS News Update, I'm Pam Coulter.
Remember that Schleprock character from the Flintstones kids cartoon? Schleprock was the bad
with your local forecast, weatherman Bob Coogan.
Skies clearing rather quickly through the evening and the overnight, and temperatures first thing tomorrow morning back to 65 degrees under mostly clear skies. A lot of sunshine ahead for tomorrow with temperatures into the lower 80s, lower humidity and light northerly winds. Clear overnight, lows lower 60s, and on Thursday, sunny and nice with the high near 80, sunny and warmer on Friday, the high 85. I'm Bob Coogan, Talk Radio WRNR.
Remember that last trip to the auto mechanic?
I also think your solenoid gasket is bad.
What?
Yep, that'll be another $500.
Forget that and go to D&N Auto Specialist at 230 Tavern Road, Martinsburg, where honesty is their best policy. Serving the Eastern Panhandle since 1974, D&N Auto is family-owned and operated, specializing in exhaust alignments and tires. From general maintenance to major overhauls, they'll treat you right. Call D&N Auto Specialist at 304-267-4078.
Your NBC Sports Radio update starts now.
Well, we'll see if it does turn out to be a problem. Antonio Brown was not there at meetings for film review on Monday for the Steelers. Still no word as to why. Cardinals head coach Steve Wilks says Larry Fitzgerald, dealing with that hamstring injury, is expected to play against the Bears in week number 3. Some more bad news for the Atlanta Falcons. Andy Levitre has been put on the IR with a triceps injury that ends his season. Bengals, they have re-signed Randy Bullock to a 2-year extension for 2020. Aaron Judge back in the lineup and starting. First time since July. Red Sox at the Yankees. Supposed to be at 7:05 Eastern. We'll see if they get it in due to the inclement weather. And Rockies infielder and potential MVP candidate Trevor Story. He was pulled on Monday versus the Dodgers, dealing with right elbow soreness. I'm Keith Irizarry, and this is NBC Sports Radio.
This is not a trick. So then, driving into work this morning, and
EPTA invites you to take advantage of their rider programs, the $5 all-day pass, the monthly pass, and the Get a Job, Get a Ride program. Visit EPTAWV.com for further details, and come ride with us. This message brought to you by EPTA, the Eastern Panhandle Transit Authority. For schedules and rider information, visit EPTAWV.com. EPTA serves Berkeley and Jefferson counties.
Take the bus, come ride with us.
A DUI arrest can have a devastating impact on one's life, your job, your driver's license, and in some cases, your very freedom. My name is Harley Wagner. I own and operate West Virginia's only exclusive DUI defense firm. Since 1999, I've been representing citizens throughout the Eastern Panhandle and state of West Virginia charged with DUI. Let my years of training and experience work for you.
The initial consultation is free at the Wagner Law Firm in Martinsburg. Phone 304-901-7400 or online at westvirginiaduilawyers.com. We welcome you back into Miller Time on this Tuesday evening. Matt Miller along with Matt Crawford. I have an answer to earlier as we were talking about the number of Division II football programs. As I look at the NCAA Division II website, pull out the stat sheet. If I go all the way to the bottom, the number of teams, you were pretty good with your auctioneering there. 167.
Seems high.
Yeah, that is a lot of schools.
Seems like a lot of schools.
That is definitely a lot of schools, but
what do I know?
It's laid out so that if there are schools that are tied, like there are two schools, I'm looking at right now what is the total defense category. Two schools are tied at 153, and the one that is just because of the spelling of the name, they're in alphabetical order in that case, is listed at 153. The next one just has a dash beside of it, so it skips the 154, rolls down to 155, and works its way down. So 167 is the number.
Thank you for that crack research right there.
Hey, that's what I'm here for. Actually, that's what my cell phone is here for. What did we do before we had these things?
There were a lot more face-to-face interactions, I'll tell you that.
And unanswered questions.
Yes. A lot more people just went, oh, okay, we'll have to go with him, the guy who... Everybody was Cliff Clavin.
With that, hit the music.
When you order your...
That's not the music.
That's the music. And that music means only one thing on this show. That means we're taking a look at tomorrow in sports history.
After mentioning Cliff, I thought maybe you were going to hit the Cheers music, but I didn't know.
We need to get the Cheers theme song.
I think it's somewhere in the computer. It's just finding it.
1879.
Wow.
It's a couple years back. Thomas Ray becomes the youngest person to break a world track and field record, pole vaulting 11 feet, 2.5 inches at 17 years old and 198 days.
Wow. Very impressive.
1901, 11 baseball games are canceled due to the funeral of President William McKinley. 1947, Jackie Robinson is named the Rookie of the Year. He did some pretty important stuff. 1955, Cubs slugger Mr. Cub Ernie Banks hits his record 5th Grand Slam of the season. That's pretty impressive.
That's a lot in a career.
Yeah, 5th of the season. Moving on down the list. 1973, the NL refuses to allow the San Diego Padres to move to Washington, D.C. because they were doing so well in San Diego and have done so well since. You would know this more than I. Have the Padres ever really been relevant?
They have.
I mean, for like a long period of time.
Not a long
or was it
period
just a quick
of time,
little stint?
But they've had a stint here and there. They've gone all the way to a World Series.
Okay, everybody's gone to a World Series. Baseball's been around for how long?
Yeah, and it took my Texas Rangers till about 2010 to get there, so don't give me everybody's gone.
1992, Barry Bonds joins Willie Mays, Howard Johnson, and Ron Gant as having 2 30-home run, 30-steal seasons. That was back when Barry Bonds was still skinny and could run very fast and hadn't porked up and become a power hitter.
Porked up. That's an interesting way to say it.
Am I wrong? 2008, Greg Maddux pitches his 5,000th career inning against the San Francisco Giants. And last year, on this date in history, or tomorrow's date in history, the new MLB record was established for the most home runs in a season. Number 5,694, and was hit by Alex Gordon of the Kansas City Royals. 5,694.
5,694. I need to look up as I go back to my crack research and my cell phone.
How many have been hit this year so far?
So
well, you got to think, because you got to look. You also have to look at the total number hit last year, because this was still 2 weeks before the season ends. So I'm guessing it got up to 5,700 Right around the 5,700. No, it would have been more than 5,700. Or within the 5,700 range, at least. At least I would think. Anyways, that's what you have to look forward to tomorrow. Hanging out at the water cooler, at the coffee pot. Impress some of your friends with some sports knowledge of the day. Do you have a number for me yet?
Not yet.
All right. Well, while you're looking that up, it is Tuesday. It is after the tomorrow's Date in Sports History segment. So that means, if you haven't been tuning in the last couple of weeks, Matt Miller and I are doing a pick'em contest, going back and forth, picking 6 college and 6 professional games each Wednesday.
Waiting to see how much ground I have gained this week.
And each Wednesday, we announce those games that we are doing, and we make those picks. And due to Monday Night Football, we announce the standings of each week on our Tuesday show. It is indeed Tuesday. It is indeed the bottom of the hour after tomorrow's Date in Sports History segment. So it's time to take a look. Matt, you want to start in the NFL or you want to start in college?
Let's start in college because I know that we both fared pretty well there.
We did. We both went 4-2, which was much needed for you. Matt coming in at 7-10 overall. Myself coming in at 12-5. So I had a nice 5-game lead over Mr. Miller. All right. Our college games were Temple at Maryland. We both picked the Terps.
Yeah, neither one of us got a point there.
Nah, sadly. Glenville State at Shepherd. We both went with the Rams. Cha-ching. LSU at Auburn. Matt, you picked Auburn. I said I was going with LSU. I was correct.
1 point. That was a great game.
That was a phenomenal game, which I knew it was going to.
Yeah.
That was one of those games that we had to hem and haw around.
Either team could have taken it.
Ohio State at TCU. We both picked the Buckeyes. USC at Texas. I went with USC. Matt, you went with Tejas. The Longhorns hooked them. And then Oklahoma State hosting Boise State. We both went with the Cowboys of Oklahoma State.
Good move there. They ran away with that game.
Yeah.
Or passed away, however you would like to say it, because they have a pretty good passing game as well.
Ohio State put it on late, too.
They did.
That was a tight game, and all of a sudden, at one point, it switch flipped, and the Ohio State went off. All right, time to look at the NFL.
Hold on. So each of us went
4-2.
2 losses in the college ranks, okay?
Correct. So you did not gain any ground.
Man, it's tough to go 4-2 and not. I feel like the Nationals.
It's all right, man.
We win 4 out of 6 games and don't gain any ground.
You'll be all right. Well, I've gone 4-2, 4-2, and 6-0 in my college picks. It's hard to gain any ground on that. Sorry, not trying to rub it in or anything.
Yes,
all right.
you are. Yes, you are.
All right, just a tad. Just a smidge. All right, NFL, Colts at Redskins. We both picked the Skins. I'll let you do the sound effect.
I have the pac-man sound effect as he gets swallowed up. We ought to play that out of the computer sometime.
Ravens and Bengals. That was the Thursday night game. You had Cincinnati. I had the Ravens, so that is a check mark for you. And that is 0-2 so far for me in the NFL pick'ems. Chiefs at Steelers. We both took the Steelers. We were both extremely wrong. Pat Mahomes. Giants at Cowboys. We both took the Giants. The Cowboys got the win 20-13 in Sunday Night Football.
Yeah.
Patriots at Jags. Matt, you took the Jaguars.
I did.
I took the Patriots. So I'm now 0-5.
Ouch.
And you are now 2-3. And then we both picked the Bucks. So I finished 1-5 in my NFL pick'ems, and you finished at 500 at 3-3. So let me do some quick mental math here. So good week for you.
Where's the Jeopardy theme music that I could play while you're working on the mental math?
Wow. I appreciate that. I went 5-7 overall in our 12 games.
Okay.
And you went 7-5. So you're going to gain 2 games on me. So 12-5. So that would be, I now have 12 losses. I am 17-12. Overall. 17-12.
All right.
And you are now 15-14. Or I'm sorry, 14-15.
So
you're still one
solidly
game
entrenched in second place.
But you gained some ground. I'll give you that. You gained some ground.
All right.
So through, what is that total now? 29 games.
You're not smelling that steak quite as much as you were a week ago.
We are battling for a steak dinner at a Logan's or a Texas Roadhouse or somewhere.
Late in the year, because we got to get all the way. What, we going through the playoffs and everything?
Nah.
We'll just go through the regular season.
Because at that point, the college games will have been done for like a month.
Well, then you got to pick all the bowl games. Do you get into the bowl games a lot, or?
It depends. Honestly, it depends. I like bowl season, but I'm not sitting down every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock. There's the Belk Bowl on and going, I got to watch that.
Well, bowl week. Do you watch the 1,400 games that are all in that 1 week where there's a game at like 12 noon and 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock and 10:30? And
I tend to tune in at least to try to catch a little bit of most games. I'm not going to sit down and gauge my entire day around bowl season, but I'll tend to at least try to catch as much as I can. Even if it's not for long, just tune into a bowl game. But they do need to redo the bowl system.
Yeah,
you shouldn't win 6 games and be bowl eligible.
I got to have some kind of rooting interest before I really get, either that or the matchup just has to be intriguing enough where you want to, see, hey, these two teams play.
Well, did you listen to the Boise State-Oklahoma State game at all?
I did not get a chance to hear any of it.
Because you don't watch games.
I listen to most of them,
you listen to them because you don't believe in cable. Not that you don't believe in them, you just don't have cable. But, so you don't watch a whole lot of games unless you're somewhere with a TV.
But you know where you can watch a game?
Live.
On TV 10.
Yes.
And you could even possibly watch it at the Palace Lounge. I understand that.
Care to tell more?
Well, I understand they're throwing like a Martinsburg High football watch party at the Palace Lounge to come out and watch TV 10 as we do our best to present the Martinsburg football game at Sharon Hills, Pennsylvania, just outside of the city of brotherly love, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, as Academy Park hosts the Martinsburg Bulldogs. That's Friday night, game time at 7, pregame at 6. You'll be in studio with Miller Time at 5 o'clock, and we ran our tests today. Everything seemed to go well. We believe we have all in place that we will need to have in place. Of course, we won't know fully till we get up there, probably, hopefully, 4:30 or so on Friday, get up into the press box, get everything set up, situated, and then see where we go from there. But that's the game plan. We'll have the game on the radio airwaves. That's the app as well as the website, as well as the AM and FM dials, and then on cable channel 10, now known as TV 10 in Berkeley and Jefferson counties. You will not only hear but watch the game.
You're going to be a TV star now.
Nah, not at all.
Oh, come on. They're going to. You and Vic Holmes are going to be in your nice WRNR shirts with the pregame, similar to what you see for the NFL games or the college game. You're going to be a TV star, man.
And then all the attention goes on the players and the game that looks like it should be a very good matchup.
It should, battle of undefeateds.
Yeah, 4-0
against
teams.
a 5A Pennsylvania team, but 5A, don't get intimidated by the 5A.
No.
We were doing some research. I was doing some research today, and it's very interesting how the PIAA, which is the Pennsylvania equivalent of the WVSSAC,
which is not to be confused with the insurance plan situation in the state of West Virginia. That's PEIAA or something, PEIA, whatever it is. Anyway.
They do their, I guess it's, what's the word I'm looking for here?
Their rating of a school or classification of a school?
That's the word I was looking for. Based on the number of enrolled students based on gender. So for the first thing that popped up was baseball. So for baseball to be a single A school, there has to be through 9th, 10th, and 11th grade. They don't count the seniors for some reason. I don't know why they wouldn't, but they don't count seniors. But if you're a single A school, if you have from 100 to 111 males in the freshman, sophomore, and junior class enrolled. But the numbers change for every single sport, and they do the exact same on the female side. It just seems like a really bass-ackwards way to do things. It's something that gets confusing.
Yeah, I was going to say, it seems complicated.
Yeah, it seems way too complicated.
Yeah. Speaking of being a little complicated, It's the rating system from the WVSS-AC in the state of West Virginia.
You need to calm down over there.
Look,
this is getting you all worked up for no reason.
I'm just laying this out there, all right?
It was bothering you earlier. And
it is the second week that the ratings are out. These are the ratings that are used to determine who will be in the postseason at the end of the year. So it's based on a point system for points that you receive for beating teams of like caliber, fewer points if you beat a team of lesser caliber. In other words, if you're AAA and you beat a AAA, you get so many points for the win. If you beat a AA, you get a few fewer points. If you beat a single A, you get even fewer points. So you're rewarded for playing like opponents. And then for those like opponents who beat like opponents, you get bonus points based on the record of the teams that you play. The idea being that it rewards strength of schedule. The only problem I have with the system is while that benefits strength of schedule to a degree, you really don't get full strength of schedule out of that. Because let's say Martinsburg is playing a Sharando team. Well, let's go even Academy Park this weekend. That's undefeated. If Martinsburg loses, but Academy Park goes on to win and go 10-0 or 9-1, well, Martinsburg doesn't get credit for playing that extremely difficult team, only if they beat them. And I think the SSAC needs to find a way to really reward a full strength of schedule, that you should still be able to get some kind of bonus points for the fact that you played a tough opponent. Because you get nothing for losing to a very good team, while another AAA team could play an 0-10 AAA team and still end up getting more points, and they get the benefit of having the win and getting points, even though the competition level that they played is not nearly as good. Their strength of schedule at the end is not nearly as good as yours, although it looks just as good because they beat a team while you didn't beat a team that was much better.
See, to me, that's a participation trophy.
But not if we're talking overall actual strength of schedule.
And everything gets worked out in the playoffs anyway. If you're that good, you're going to prove it in the playoffs. If your schedule was that weak, it's going to come out in the playoffs that you played a fluff schedule.
And
everything works itself out when it comes to playoff time.
And you lead then right into my argument, and that is the rankings came out today for a second time. So they started coming out 3 games into the season. We've now had 4 weeks of football. Some teams have already had a bye, like Musselman was on a bye last week. So they're still sitting at only 3 games, and we're putting these rankings out already that this week has Capital 1, Wheeling Park 2, Musselman tied with Wheeling Park at 2, Huntington's 4, Spring Valley's 5, Martinsburg is 6. Those are the remaining undefeated teams in Class AAA. John Marshall dropped from 1 all the way to number 7 with a loss last week. Hedgesville comes in at number 8. Spring Mills at 2-2. They come in at number 16. To me, I just don't see the necessity of going through the processes and tallying all the points up and putting this out at this stage of the season, because it will change and fluctuate so much between now and the end of the year.
It just gives you an idea of where teams are and how they've started the season.
But it's not the appropriate idea, because again, you don't have enough sampling to really know where teams may end up.
You're going into the halfway point of the regular season.
Okay, you're going into. We're still talking about having played only 3 games for some teams, 4 games for others. To me, this is the type of ranking, just like in the NCAA in Division II and the regional rankings that help to determine the playoffs. Now, I know those are supposed to be based on a formula, but they have some other, leeway in there as well. Those don't come out until, like about week 7 or 8.
And you're telling me that in week 7 of the season or week 8 of the season, when you're playing teams and there's an upset or there's a game where you're facing an equal caliber team in a different state and the bonus points kick in, that you don't see teams hopping up 5 or 6 spots out of nowhere?
No. You won't see that type of jump in that short a period of time, I don't believe, unless there's some obvious massive losses somewhere around. I think it gives you a better idea if you wait until later to start looking at things and going, okay, this is more of how this postseason might lay out, as opposed to right now where we look at it and go, the postseason will not lay out probably anything close to what we're looking at here.
I think we've got to take a break.
Okay, let's do it.
We got to get in one more commercial break. Before the top of the hour, going an hour and a half tonight, taking you to Washington Nationals baseball. They fell in game 1 in Miami last night. Game time tonight, 7:10. Steven Strasburg on the hill. We'll be back for Miller Time after this short break.
Like the pine trees lining the winding road, I got it.
It's Ram Truck Month at Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in Martinsburg, and that means great deals all over the lot, like 2018 Ram trucks with up to $12,500 off. Stop by and inquire about the no money down specials and no payments for 90 days. Yet other great deals like 2019 Dodge Grand Caravans from $26,900 or a 2019 Chrysler Pacifica for 0% APR plus $500 Chrysler Capital Cash. With over 300 trucks, SUVs, vans, and cars in stock, you'll find just what you're looking for during Ram Truck Month at Miller's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram on Kelly Island Road, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty. All payments based on approved credit, taxes, tags, and processing fees extra. See dealer for details.
Life is complicated, but your finances shouldn't have to be. At BCT, we simplify your financial life. Bank of Charlestown is a locally owned community bank with 7 conveniently located offices serving the Eastern Panhandle of West Virginia, Middleburg, Virginia, and their newest office in Hagerstown, Maryland. With over 140 years of experience, BCT is the tri-state area's choice for fast, convenient, and hassle-free banking solutions. Whether you are a high school senior looking for a student checking account, a college graduate purchasing a new car, a first-time home buyer, or investing for retirement, BCT has flexible solutions to fit your lifestyle. BCT is committed to providing everyday ways to simplify your financial life. Also, make sure you are following BCT on Twitter and Instagram at MyBCT or like their Facebook page to see how BCT reinvests local deposits back into the communities they serve. BCT, we simplify your financial life.
Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
If you're a victim in a motor vehicle wreck or injured due to another person's fault, at Ferretti Law Office, we get to work protecting your rights and getting you the money you need and deserve. The insurance companies handling your claims want a fast and cheap settlement. Before making that mistake, call Ferretti Law Office at 264-8505 to discuss your claim for free. You did not choose to be injured, but your choice of law firms can make a difference. At Ferretti Law Office, we're here to help.
L.A. Roberts is Berkeley County's oldest jeweler, where every season is new and exciting. In fact, new is old school to us, and though it's nothing new, our old traditions like exceptional service, quality, and value maintain L.A. Roberts Jewelers as the old master among so many new kids on the block. Whether you're a newcomer or part of the old guard, entrust all your fine jewelry needs to L.A. Roberts, Old World Jewelers for a new age, in historic downtown Martinsburg.
With just a couple of minutes, all right, maybe just really 1 minute left before we've got to take our top of the hour break and then be back with more Miller Time. I thought this would be the perfect minute to address the Baltimore Orioles since we were hitting just a little bit of baseball going into the break. How about the O's at 43-107, worst record in the majors? How about this? Since the franchise came to Baltimore in 1954, the only other Oriole team with 107 losses was in 1988, and many around here will remember that was the club that started a record 0-21.
So when the O's lose, they lose bad.
Yeah,
when they have bad seasons, they're bad.
And get ready, they have a chance to reach the franchise record, which dates all the way back to 1939 when the team was in St. Louis, and at that time known as the Browns. They lost 111 games. And this year's Orioles team certainly has that in range right now with still 2 weeks left to close out the regular season.
I don't think Buck Showalter's coming back. I'm just taking a shot in the dark there.
I think you're probably right. They've been blanked 15 times and own a 26-49 record at home, the worst in the big leagues.
Another half hour Miller Time coming up after this news and weather break at the top of the hour. You're listening to Talk Radio WRNR Martinsburg.
Here's your local news from Talk Radio WRNR. 28-year-old Jared Blackney of Martinsburg faces up to 20 years in prison and a fine of up to $1 million after pleading guilty to one count of distribution of cocaine base. That's according to U.S. Attorney Bill Powell's office. Blackney, also known as Poppy, admitted selling the stuff in Berkeley County in June of last year. West Virginia Governor Jim Justice announced that the Federal Highway Administration has verified that federal law allows the State Division of Highways to permit broadband expansion and other development projects on state right-of-way without collecting a fee. Justice said it's a major step forward as the state expands its broadband network to better serve businesses and citizens. Starting this Friday night at 6, the West Virginia State Police will be conducting a sobriety checkpoint along U.S. Route 11 near the intersection of Evans Run Drive near Martinsburg. And there's a secondary location set up off U.S. 11 near the intersection of Musselman Drive in Inwood. I'm Adam Boardman, Talk Radio WRNR News.
Now, with your local forecast, weatherman Bob Kukin.
Much improved and better weather ahead here for the next several days. We're seeing a clearing trend in progress and a clear sky late tonight with a low near 65 degrees. Lots of bright Wednesday sunshine with a high near 82. It'll be less humid, too, with light northerly winds. Fair weather overnight, the low near 60 on Thursday morning. Thursday brings back the sunshine, the forecast high close to 80. I'm Bob Kukin, Talk Radio WRNR.
It's Martinsburg Bulldog football.
Cello Tenenbaugh at the goal line makes the catch. It's a Martinsburg Bulldog touchdown.
Join us Friday, September 21st as the Martinsburg Bulldogs travel to Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania to take on the Academy Park Knights. You can not only hear the game on FM 106.5 and AM 740, but now watch the games on TV 10. In Berkeley and Jefferson County, Comcast Cable Channel 10 is now your exclusive home to watch Martinsburg Bulldog football. On your local leader in talk, news, sports, Talk Radio, WRNR, and TV 10.
Howdy, cowpokes. Your favorite cowboy again for Panhandle Printing and Design. I've been lost on the trail, and I bet you've been lost in a big box office supply store looking for help. Well, that's one of the best reasons you should depend on Panhandle Printing and Design when you need to get printing done. They'll always be willing to help answer your questions, and you won't get lost on the back 40 or the envelope pile wondering where the help you're looking for is. At Panhandle Printing and Design, they can help with all your printing needs, with everything from design to production of stationery, envelopes, business cards, invitations, vinyl signs, banners, vehicle wraps, and large format construction plans and more. Now, if you need to find a place for printing, it's time for you to hop in the SUV and drive past the big box store and head to your one-stop printing shop where they have something for everyone. Panhandle Printing and Design at 124 North Maple Avenue in Martinsburg. Call 304-267-7400 or find them online.
It's that time of year again. I'm Ron Springer, head golf professional at the Woods, and I'm excited to announce the second annual Tournament of Champions on October 5th. Want to dethrone the 2017 champs? Now's the time to enter your team into one of the many qualifying tournaments here at the Woods. Not only can you win more money for your sponsoring organization, you can also win great prizes for you and your teammates. For a list of qualifying tournaments, see ads in the Journal, Around the Panhandle, and at thewoods.com. It's on.
And we welcome you back into this Tuesday edition of Miller Time, taking you up to 6:30. At least Matt Crawford is. I'll be taking off about 10 minutes or so from now.
See ya.
Heading down to Shepherd University.
Have fun, Mr. Teacher Man.
We'll get back into some Rams football in just a minute. Close out the half hour with WVU football. It's going to be good to see them play again after the impromptu bye week with the game canceled at NC State last week.
Gave you a chance to watch some other football.
I'm trying to think. I know I didn't. I didn't watch
any other D1 football this weekend?
No.
Trying to think. I watched some of the major games at night, but I don't think I watched. What game did I watch? I don't know.
We went down and
I know I watched a game after the shit because when I went back, I turned football on.
I caught a little bit.
I believe there was a nap involved, so I can't remember what exactly the game was.
I caught a little bit of the Oklahoma State Boise State game, just a play here or there as I was getting back in from the Shepherd game. But outside of that, no, just kind of glanced at my phone periodically to pop up scores and get an idea, but really didn't see much. I did see a little bit of the Jaguars win over the Patriots, so you'll be glad to know that I actually saw some NFL football on Sunday.
Did it make your stomach churn, or do you actually somewhat enjoy sitting watching a football game?
It was, it was football. I was waiting for the Tom Brady typical NFL comeback as the end of the third quarter, beginning of the fourth was starting to play out, but this year was written in the script that the Jaguars held on. I'm just kidding. I just throw that out there.
That's going to make it better in the AFC Championship when they meet again.
You see,
it does bring me joy watching Tom Brady and Bill Belichick angry on the sidelines. I don't know why. There's nobody else in the world that I get pleasure out of seeing mad.
Speaking of mad, what's up with Antonio Brown and the Pittsburgh Steelers?
He's mad. About what? I don't know, but he's mad about something.
Well, he's mad because they're 0-2. And I get that. He wants to win. Everybody wants to win.
I don't know why NFL players feel the need to revert back to being a 7-year-old when things aren't going their way.
Well, apparently after the loss against the Chiefs on Sunday, a former member of the administrative offices with the Pittsburgh Steelers sent out some kind of a tweet basically calling out Antonio Brown and saying he should be glad that he's had a chance to play with Big Ben Roethlisberger, or otherwise he wouldn't be considered the elite receiver that he is. Well, that certainly got under the skin of Brown, and he responded, "Trade me, let's find out." And so, of course, that got everybody all worked up about, hey, he wants to be traded. And so, no, not the case. His agent came out and this is funny. Drew Rosenhaus is his agent, and he put this out. The tweet was not directed toward a trade or wanting to be traded. It was a personal response to a former Steelers employee who insulted him. Any idea he was asking for a trade is not accurate. Then he goes on.
How else do you interpret that?
I don't know. He goes on and says, I talked to the team about it. His issue was unrelated to the tweet or his relationship with the team. The issue, by the way, is I guess he had a personal issue and didn't show up for practice yesterday. I thought usually if you had some kind of issue, you tried to let your employer know, hey, I might not be there today. So, nonetheless.
And how does any other issue that doesn't involve the team or another player end in you saying, trade me?
Look, and last thing he says is anything you see between AB and the coaches. Now, get this, because part of it was Antonio Brown seemed to be fussing at coaches on the sideline during that tough loss. And this is the one I always love. Anything that you see between AB and the coaches, AB has an incredible drive to win. He just wants to win. That's all that is. That's not anything more than him encouraging his coaches and teammates to win. And that's what his entire focus is on. Any notion, any speculation otherwise can be put to bed. This is a non-story that has been blown out of proportion. We can end this right here and right now. End of statement from Drew Rosenhaus.
Do you think he really has to encourage his teammates and coaches to want to win?
Yeah, I was going to say.
I'm not sure that's much better. That sounds really good to the media.
And those type of antics?
He's out there encouraging his coaches to win. Oh, so what are you saying, Antonio, that your coaches aren't really having a drive to win? Yeah, that's a much better media strategy.
He was encouraging them to throw me the blank ball, right? That's what a lot of wide receivers are out there encouraging their coaches and quarterbacks to do, because there's never enough footballs to go around for the egos of wide receivers. For guys who touch the ball as little as those guys touch the ball sometimes in a given game, where has the ego-driven wide receiver come from? You know? The quarterback's the guy that gets the ball all the time.
Yep.
And there are some ego-driven quarterbacks. I'm not going to say there aren't, but it just seems like for lack of a better term, head cases in the NFL in recent years have been as much wide receivers and or their counterpart, defensive backs.
And Jalen Ramsey.
Okay. Seriously? Once again, I appreciate the fact that you like to be out there on the quote-unquote island and guarding the quote-unquote best receiver. I appreciate the challenge, but at the same time, the impact that you have on the game, clearly you can't be giving up big, long passes, or you do have a major impact on the game. But again, the number of balls that come your way or you get a chance to defend or knock down or pick off a few passes doesn't warrant the amount of trash talk that comes.
I agree.
And then, how about this over the weekend? The Buffalo Bills' Vontae Davis retired at halftime of the team's 31-20 loss. Yeah, according to head coach Sean McDermott, Davis, quote, pulled himself out of the game, and apparently didn't just pull himself out of the game.
Pulled himself off the team.
He changed, showered, did all of that, and left as the team went back out on the field for the second half. Says, I'm done with football.
Buffalo Bills linebacker Lorenzo Alexander, the former Washington Redskin, on that whole situation.
You seen anything like that in your NFL
Never
career?
have seen it ever. Pop Warner, high school, college, pros, never heard of it, never seen it. And it's just completely disrespectful to his teammates.
Did he say anything to you as a veteran? Did he say anybody did?
He didn't say nothing to nobody.
He left? When did
Yeah, you know as much as I know. I found out going in the second half of the game. Coming out, they said he's not coming out, he retired. So.
What?
Yep. That's it. So, who said what?
Who said he? Sean said
guys
that?
on the sideline. I mean, guys heard about it and said that he wasn't coming back out.
I haven't heard of too many Pop Warner kids announcing their retirement in the middle of halftime. I loved how he went all the way back to Pop Warner football. No, I've never
You
seen
don't think
that.
any 8-year-olds have announced their retirement at halftime in the middle of their orange slice? I'm retiring.
I don't know if I can handle this football. I'm stepping away. That's crazy. But how unusual. I mean, that's just unheard of.
That's Sua Craven's type of stuff. And that's what a lot of people have been saying so far with that is there's got to be something going on upstairs with him. That's shit. You don't do that.
Either that or there's just enough frustration with his...
I mean, the Bills are pretty bad.
Right, with his career and, being there, I wonder if, it's just a situation where you go, I'm walking away from this right now.
But at halftime? Who does that at half? In what way? Because I don't care if your head is in it, not in it. When you get any athlete who's been in a game mode, there's no way he's on the field playing one-on-one with somebody as a corner and going, nah, I'm done. This is just that. I don't feel like being out here. You can be frustrated. Wait till the end of the game. Don't leave your teammates hanging. Your team as a whole. To me, I just don't get that. That's insanity.
Hornby wants to know if he gets half a game check. I have to ask. Or admit I don't know. I did see a headline, but I haven't had a chance to open up the article and look at it, where it listed, here's how much money Vontae Davis is walking away from. And so there is an article that kind of lays all of that out. So, but again, if he's been in the league for the years that he's been in the league, he's made his money.
Yeah.
So
he's played long enough. He gets his pension. He gets everything that the players union gets after X amount of years.
And of course, Hornby added Go Chargers.
Yeah.
That's not the name of his fantasy football team, is it? Which, by the way, I think
fantasy team, I beat him by 50-some this week.
See, as much as I give you a hard time, sometimes I throw you a softball and give you a chance to try to hit it out of the park.
I mean, you were there last week when he was talking smack.
Yeah.
And he wanted to trade players. He was thinking that I would need some extra guys. I said, nope, I'm confident in my team. And I went out and had 160 on him this week, and he barely crested over 110.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh, got him good. Didn't come down to a last-second field goal.
And this week I get to play his mom.
And your kicker would have missed anyway. So.
No, I didn't have any of the I Gostowski in New England.
Well, hey, man, I'm going to turn it over to you for some Shepherd and WVU football down the stretch, and we'll talk again tomorrow.
Have fun, man.
All right.
All right, well, let's stick with Shepherd here real quick. The Shepherd University Rams, big win over the weekend. We have been playing interviews with coaches, with players so far the last couple of days. Before we go into a break, let's hear from a defensive team captain. Haven't had a whole lot from the defense so far this year. DeJuan Neal had a very impressive interception on the first drive of the game that really set the tone for how the game was going to go for that Shepherd Ram defense. I got a chance to catch up with one of my former high school teammates in DeJuan Neal after the game. Here are some of his comments and just how big that win was for the defense.
It was great. It set the tone for the rest of the day. You know, we came out strong. We prepared all week. We came out and got a W.
How much do you assess last week and compare it to how you were this week? It seems like a massive difference.
Again, we had the bye week, so we had 2 weeks to prepare for Glenville, and it showed in the performance.
I know you still got to look at the tape. What do you think you got to work on going into next week?
Finishing strong. As you see, we gave up 2 touchdowns in the second half, so that's probably main things to work on.
I know not necessarily a big rivalry for this group right now, but historically a big rivalry game against Glenville. That any more specialty to the first home win for this team this year?
Oh yeah, we had to get the win for Coach Klein. You know, he hates Glenville, so we had to get it. We had to get a win for him.
All right, and I got to ask you this, being a high school teammate of you. All right, 5 years ago you're playing at Southern High School, and now you're a team captain. You're getting a pick on the first series. Talk about the last couple of years and just how your game has progressed.
I mean, each year, you know, I work on getting better and better. You know, trying to put on for my Southern family back at home and all that. So I'm just blessed to be here. You know.
Coach, thanks a lot. Good luck next week.
Thank you, man.
Dwan Neal, team captain and corner/safety for the Shepherd University Ram defense. Always good catching up with him again. I've known him since we were in kindergarten, played high school ball with him. Nice to see him balling out this year and being a preseason all-conference player. All right, we got to get in one more break, which will include a Mountaineer Report with Tony Caridi. And when we come back, we'll hear from the head honcho himself with the WV football program. Dana Holgerson, he had his press conference show today. We'll bring you some of that and his thoughts going into the Big 12 opener this week at home against Kansas State. We'll be right back with more Miller Time.
WVU Medicine is pleased to announce the addition of orthopedic surgeon Dr. Craig Clark to the Jefferson Medical Center staff and WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Dr. Clark joins Dr. Bradford Wright and the team at WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine, offering leading-edge, full-service orthopedic care. Both board-certified orthopedic surgeons specialize in total joint replacements and general orthopedics, as well as sports medicine. For more info, call WVU Medicine Orthopedics and Sports Medicine at 304-725-2663.
Since 1877, Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies have proudly supported our local community. Farmers and Mechanics has the insurance products to meet your needs, including home, auto, farm, dwelling fire, business owners, and umbrella coverage. Please contact your local independent agency for a review of your insurance needs and ask for a policy from the company that knows you best. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, just off Edwin Miller Boulevard on Administrative Drive in Martinsburg. FMIWV.com.
Surprising stats with West Virginia and Kansas State. Hi, everybody. I'm Tony Caridi. That story coming up on today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics.
When you order your groceries online at Kroger.com or with the Kroger app, you can do your shopping anytime, anywhere, like the gym, the office, or your favorite comfy couch. Plus, when you visit Kroger.com, you can find hundreds of money-saving digital coupons. And whether you place your order on your phone, tablet, or computer, it's still your neighborhood Kroger. So you'll find all the fresh choices, low prices, and great deals you love. And once you've selected your coupons and finished your shopping, you choose a pickup time that fits your schedule. And relax while your order is hand-picked, just the way you like it. Then all you have to do is hop in the car and drive to the store's pickup location. And a friendly Kroger associate will load your specially picked order for you. You don't even have to get out of your vehicle. It's so convenient. Save time. Shop online today at Kroger.com.
As the Mountaineers get set for Saturday's game against Kansas State, I did some research work over the last couple of days looking at the West Virginia-Kansas State series since West Virginia joined the Big 12 Conference. Interesting numbers. How about this? West Virginia always able to score points, right? Not so much against Kansas State. In the previous 6 encounters, West Virginia averaging just 19 points per game, while Kansas State has averaged almost 30 points against WVU. At home, West Virginia actually scores less against KSU. WVU averaging just 17 points per game in Morgantown against the Wildcats. Kansas State averages 32 points per game in Morgantown. Another interesting note here, the turnover margin. In the 6 games they've played as Big 12 members, West Virginia is -7 in the turnover department and has lost the turnover battle in each of the last 2 years, but still won the game. 2016, West Virginia finished up -1 on the turnover margin and won the game 17-16. Remember, Kansas State missed what would have been a game-winning field goal in the final seconds. And then last year, West Virginia didn't score in the second half and finished the game -2 in the turnover department. Still won it, though, by a score of 28-23. A couple of other notes. West Virginia, over the last 4 encounters, has passed the ball well. Go all the way back to the 2014 game. West Virginia threw for 310. 15 game, West Virginia throws for 281. 2016, West Virginia throws for 298. Last year, Will Greer throws for 372. How big will that number be on Saturday? Should be fun to see. That is today's Mountaineer Report, brought to us by Kroger, the official grocer of WVU Athletics. I'm Tony Caridi on the Mountaineer Sports Network from IMG.
Miller Time returns in just 75 short seconds.
Do you use catheters? At Comfort Medical, we understand your needs. Nobody wants to use a catheter, but because you have to, let us help you make it an easy and virtually pain-free process. At Comfort, we've been a leader in home delivery of medical supplies for years. You know us, and you can trust us. We have hundreds of catheter styles to choose from, and if you're covered by Medicare or private insurance, you can get up to 200 catheters per month at little or no cost to you. We have catheter specialists standing by right now to help you select the best catheter for your unique needs. Call now and speak with a friendly catheter specialist. 800-399-6835. 800-399-6835. Remember, with Medicare or private insurance, you can get up to 200 catheters a month at little or no cost to you. So call right now. 800-399-6835. 800-399-6835. 800-399-6835. That's 800-399-6835.
Simply free e-checking from City National Bank. Perfect if you want basic checking with no monthly service fees or balance requirements. Stop by any of our 7 Eastern Panhandle locations or visit us online at bankatcity.com. City National Bank. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
What's the matter with the clothes I'm wearing? Can't you tell that?
Welcome back into Miller Time. Matt Crawford here to take you the rest of the way. Matt Miller making his way down to Shepherd University, teaching his Intro to Sports Broadcasting class, which he will do every Tuesday night here in the fall. So I will take you the remainder of however long the show is on Tuesday nights. If you were listening earlier, only a few weeks left of the baseball season. Nationals not playoff bound, so the time October 1st comes, no more Nats baseball here on Talk Radio WRNR until 2019. That is the start of the next baseball season. But soon thereafter, we will have Washington Capitals hockey and Washington Wizards basketball. This segment of the show brought to you by the Washington Nationals. Speaking of the Washington Nationals, Oktoberfest. Friday, September 21st at Nationals Park is Oktoberfest when the Nationals take on the visiting New York Mets. 7:05 first pitch. The first 20,000 fans ages 21 and over can take home a Nationals Stein. To get your tickets, visit nationals.com. Kind of fun to have a over 21 giveaway at Nats Park. You see a lot of those giveaways for the kids, whether it's the bobbleheads or the little hats, the Hawaiian shirts, things like that. Kind of fun to get a beer stein for the older people that are usually paying for those tickets and getting the giveaway. So head out there on Friday if you can. But if you are in this area, again, make sure you tune into Cable Channel 10. That is TV 10, Comcast Cable Channel 10 in Berkeley and Jefferson County. Your exclusive video home now for Martinsburg Bulldog football and basketball in the winter. So if you can't make it out to the Nats game and or make it out to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania to see Martinsburg play, you can watch them on TV 10. If you don't have Comcast, you can watch us on WRNR TV on YouTube, or just do it the old-fashioned way and listen right here on our app, website, or AM 740, FM 1065. All right, we're going to talk some Mountaineers finishing out the show today. Kansas State coming to town, Big 12 season opener. Mountaineers probably should have been 3-0 going into this game. Instead, just 2-0. That game last week against NC State being canceled. Should be interesting to see if that is going to affect their rankings later on in the season when they're still one game behind everybody in the total amount played. Kansas State coming in 2-1. They're coming off a game last week. They won 47-17 against University of Texas. No, not the Longhorns. They played USC. It was UT San Antonio, so not necessarily a very competitive game for Kansas State, but nonetheless, Big 12 opener for both. 3:30 kickoff, 12 noon pregame. You can hear that right here on Talk Radio WRNR. The Dana Holgorsen press conference with the media was today. Starting this year, they started doing a press conference show, so each Tuesday during your lunch break from 12 to 1 or just stream while you're at work. You can hear Dana Holgorsen most of the time, Jake Spavital, the offensive coordinator, Tony Gibson, the defensive coordinator, and a couple of players interviewed during that hour-long show and just kind of catch up with what the Mountaineers did over the past weekend and looking ahead to their game coming up on Saturday. Well, today, it was Dana Holgorsen talking about Kansas State. These were some of his comments on the game coming up in Morgantown this weekend.
Excited about this weekend. Expecting a big crowd. The Stripe the Stadium thing has been pretty successful here for the last 3 times that we've done it. I think we looking forward to that. And obviously Kansas State's always a fun game for us. Been pretty competitive, about as competitive as it can get the last 4 or 5 games. So expecting this weekend to be no different than that. They've still got great continuity with their coaching staff. They've got 2 new coordinators. One Coach Dimmel left for UTEP to be a head coach. Very, very well deserved. He's done a wonderful job with that offense there for the last several years, and then had their defensive coordinator retire. But when you really look at it, they've replaced them with guys that have been in their program. So they're not doing anything really any different. Coach Snyder, from a continuity perspective, obviously it gets none better than this anywhere, maybe in sports in general. The continuity that he brings with what he's done at Kansas State, and the coaches that work for him have has been the same for a long time. So maybe a few new faces, a few younger faces on that staff, but who are going to bring their own little twist and all that. I get that, but from just overall in general, they're the same as they've been. The backbone of that program's always been toughness and discipline and program pride and all that good stuff. So I see the same stuff. Offensively, what they're doing, we know about the 2 quarterbacks, Skylar Thompson and the Delton kid. We'll be ready for both of them. No, they've kind of settled on Thompson for what I've seen the last week in particular. But really, they don't do a ton different with either one of them that's in there. So. We're going to prepare for these guys like we normally do and expect both of them to play. Got several running backs that they can go to as well. Going to play tight ends, going to play fullbacks. Going to more than likely try to, huddle up and control the ball like they always have. And they're as good at it as anybody. But they're getting better offensively. They're continuing to get better, I think. Their quarterback's got a chance to be a good player. Got basically all of their offensive linemen back, so they have really good continuity up front. Couple receivers that look good to me, got really good speed. The Zuber kid, number 7, has made some people look pretty silly here in the last few weeks, so looks good. Defensively, pretty much like they always have. They've always been a 4-down front. They've always done a great job with their technique up front as far as rushing the passer. Linebackers that make plays, their secondary is our best. It's our biggest challenge yet by far. A lot of good returning guys coming back, and what they're doing in the back end is they're multiple with what they do.
Head coach Dana Holgorsen of the West Virginia University Mountaineers. Again, Kansas State coming to Morgantown this Saturday, 3:30 p.m. kickoff, 12 noon pregame. You can hear that right here on Talk Radio WRNR. Some other college football games going on around the area and the Mountain State this weekend. Shepherd is going to West Virginia State. Shepherd coming in at 1-1, got a win last week against Glenville State, 41-24. West Virginia State coming in at 1-2, but don't let that record fool you. They are an improved team from last year. They're coming in after only losing to Notre Dame 33-31, and that was late in that game. So don't be surprised if it's a very, very competitive game coming up this weekend. All right, time to go to Nats baseball on the radio side. If you're watching on TV 10 in Berkeley and Jefferson County, a replay of Eastern Panhandle Talk with Rob and Dave from this morning. So lots going on, whether you're watching on TV or listening on the radio. We'll see you at 5 o'clock tomorrow for more Miller Time. Thanks for tuning in.
In Washington, D.C.
Solis ready to pitch.